Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 16th of September, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at the dollar index, remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, long-term, medium-term, and short-term views with the corresponding point and figure charts and their targets. So dollar is still, it had a little bit of a recovery yesterday, but is still below the cloud. So we're bearish on all three time frames on the dollar, and that means that the euro continues to look strong against the dollar. We are in this sideways consolidation phase, and this is likely a continuation pattern where we'll break out and run higher. The Japanese yen, we're sitting at 105 against the dollar, so dollar weaker, yen stronger, so that's also bearish for the dollar. Sterling is nudging the 129 level and just starting to look a little bit better against the US dollar there. Taking a look at sterling against the euro, we're sitting at 108. So sterling weakness still really continues. We've had a pretty tough September against the euro, and this low of 107 that we saw last year is under attack, and that then leaves the lows we saw earlier this year. Brexit weighing heavily, of course, on the UK currency. Bitcoin has increased to $10,800, so it's starting to look quite good. And if we look at stock markets, the S&P 500 index was up 0.5% last night. Not enough to put us into bullish territory on the short-term chart. We still do have risks of downside targets being activated, but we are seeing some new upside targets emerging. One here of 4% on the market. So quite key. Of course, we need to make a new high to be sure this bearish engulfing candle still hangs over us. And the same picture is true of the Nasdaq. We're still short-term bearish below the cloud, although we do have some upside targets. We haven't activated this downside target. A new low below these lows would do that, so we need to be aware of that. The Dow was up 0.5%. The Nasdaq was actually down slightly, down 0.2%. Looking at the futures today, the S&P E-mini is up 0.4%, and the Nasdaq is up 0.5%. So it does suggest the US market will continue to climb today. And if we look at the VIX volatility is falling away. That's good for stocks, just something we keep an eye on. The FTSE future is down 0.25% this morning. The cash market in Germany is up slightly, still nowhere near making a new high yet. We've got work to do, but looking better than most European indices. If we look at the CAC Quarante, for example, it has a lot more work to do to get to making a new high. So Germany actually holding up better. Japan was flat, little changed overnight. New Prime Minister coming in there, and Hang Seng index was flat and Shanghai was down slightly. Still short-term bearish. That's really the theme that we're seeing pretty much across the board. India looking a little bit better, and it has suffered these falls better than most markets. And the Aussie market was up 1%, so that's looking pretty good there. Gold is edging higher. Sitting at $1967, and we are bullish above the cloud on the short term, the medium term, and the long term chart looking stellar. We do have these targets in both directions, so we're waiting for this effectively a point and figure ascending triangle to play out here, but gold looking strong on all three time frames at the moment. Silver also looking good, and that's really just showing that we're pausing for breath. Again, another potential consolidation pattern, which no big upside targets on the 1% chart, but on the 0.5% chart we do have targets some 25% higher, so that's quite strong as well. Looking at the energy mix, we talked about Brent crude yesterday going right to the wire. We did have an descending triangle pattern, and we had support at 39.50. We found that support, and we've broken back above the cloud. So crude oil is looking better again on the short-term chart. We're back into bullish zone, but we did activate this downside target to $30 yesterday on the 0.5% chart. So interestingly, we've found some support here on the cloud and on the lagging line. The key thing is, can we hold it for the moment? We've got downside targets and upside targets, and of course we need to make a new high. This could just go to making a lower high, and then the lower low would be something to really worry about. WTI sitting at 39.36, so still below $40, but again a similar recovery there, and we have got a good upside target, so the outlook there has changed a bit. Looking at US nat gas, we're sitting at 238. and that's actually just put us through into short-term bullish territory with upside targets. So looking better there. Coal is up this morning, back to near $58, so that's looking better, and we have nudged to make a higher high than that that one there that we saw in early September, the beginning of September. So that's quite good for the coal price. Emissions have just really struggled to hold this €30 mark. We did actually close above €30, so that was significant. We are just edging higher. A little bit of a sell-off, not surprising after such a big run this week. We do have a downside target here. If we make new lows, we activate that. But of course, this pullback has locked this column, and if we go to make a new high, then we activate that as well. Looking at MBP, we're sitting up 2.6% this morning. That's starting to look better on the chart, and TTF front month also starting to look better on the chart. We've got good upside targets, and if we look at the weekly chart, we're also looking better there as well. German power is down in line with emissions really, and we just struggle to break to a new high there. So the chart pattern is bullish, but we are just pausing for breath at the moment. We have activated a new upside target to €50 for German power, some 18% higher, so that's significant. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.